So after some of my organ videos, some people reached out and said, you should explain how the organ works. What are all these buttons? There's more than one keyboard. The feet have got to do a bunch of stuff down here too. Okay, so here's a quick rundown of how the pipe organ works. This is the organ console at Vinci Lutheran Church. Each of these keyboards are called manuals. This one has 2. I play one in Montevideo that has 3. I've played the organs that have 5, and there are some with 7, some really monstrous keyboards. Each one controls a different set of sounds up here. This one's known as the grate. The pipes that you see exposed, there's no controlling the volume of those, so we control them by the number of instruments we add. Let's move that out of the way. Each of these stops has a different sound. So principal, okay, flute. You'll see an 8, 4, and 2. That refers to the general length of the set of pipes. 8 would be what we know as concert pitch. Play a C. It sounds like the C little thing. A 4-foot is an octave higher. And then the 2-foot, little tiny pipes right up there. How do we add volume? Like an orchestra, you add instruments. If we pull out another, maybe the 4 feet and the 2, and another. It keeps getting softer. Over here we have the instrumentation for the swell. That is this top row of keys on this organ, the swell. Those pipes are inside that box. I can open and close them, watch. Now I'm opening them. And that allows some volume control. I'm doing that with my foot right here. So I'll give you an example. 8-foot and a 4-foot flute, and maybe some violin sounding stuff. But watch what happens when I open that swell box. It gets louder. Now I can combine the swell instruments with the grate instruments here. Swell to grate. 8, again, that's concert pitch. If I just play the grate with these 2 simple inputs, but now I'm going to add the swell to the grate. Now swell to grate 4 means it's going to double everything up an octave. It's going to sound brighter and louder. You see we have some here to the pedal as well. There aren't as many sounds on the pedal. These are going to be your typical soft, low notes. And anytime you add principal, that's going to be a little more brassy. 16-foot. And there's even 32. You can barely hear those. They're so low. So again, if I add swell to pedal, picks up a little bit, grate to pedal, and say swell that octave higher. So like an orchestra, adding more instruments adds perceived volume. Let's get a close-up look at these pipes. I'm going to say these are probably the 16-foot pipes. That tallest one there, that's a good 16 feet. And each row of pipes corresponds with 1 sound stop. Those here would be 8-foot pipes. And notice they're metal. So the metal ones are going to have a brassier sound generally. Now look inside this swell box. You see these wooden ones? Those are going to give you that mellow flute sound that we like. And here are still more ranks or rows of pipes, each one representing a sound type from this tiny high notes on up. These are going to be the 2-foot. There's some more 8s up there. And those, I believe, are 4-foot reeds. Now I want to show you. Let's go well back into the heart of the organ. Can you hear? There's a blower in here. It blows up a giant bellows, so there's always pressure to all of the pipes. But look at this right here. That looks like a bunch of doorbells, doesn't it? Or chimes in the percussion section of an orchestra. Well, that's exactly what they are. There it is right there. Here you'll find some numbered buttons. We can program these to have a set of sounds depending on whether it's a big hymn or a small hymn or just an organ piece. You press that and some stops come out. I press another one. So those can be set for the whole organ. And then these set just this manual, the swell, and these set this manual, the great. See some buttons down here for the feet? Those mimic those presets, 1 through 10 for the full organ, and 1 through 6 here, which is for the pedal presets only. Honestly, I don't use those very often, but if you're playing a big concert piece and you have to make some quick changes, you'll be playing along, click one of those, click one of these. Here again, that's the swell of that volume box. This one, crescendo. It basically, by gradually pressing this, it's adding sounds. Fun fact, you've heard the expression, pull out all the stops. Whether in sports or business, we're gonna pull out all the stops. What do they mean by that? Well, let me show you. Remember, I called these stops. I guess technically when you push them in, it stops the sound, stops the flow of air up in the pipes. That's a stop. What would happen if you pull out all the stops? Now, there's so many of them, it would be difficult to do that quickly, to literally pull out all of these stops and press all of these and pull all of these. So there's a button underneath. See this full organ? That's a one-shot button to figuratively pull out all the stops. There's even a red button warning. This is gonna be loud. That's what I love about the pipe organ. Pull out all the stops. Don't do that very often, actually. Is that dust coming down out of the pipes?